Two 13-year-old Hmong boys from St. Paul killed, shot in the back by police shotgun in Inver Grove Heights, November 15, 1989. Thai Yang and Basee Lor was the two founding members of the Hmong White Tigers gang. Did Thai Yang and Basee Lor get murdered by Inver Grove Heights police Kenneth E. Murphy? Two 13-year-old boys were killed November 15, 1989 by a single shotgun blast fired by an Inver Grove Heights police officer as they ran from a stolen car after a chase. The boys were identified as Thai Yang and Basee Lor. Both lived with their families in St. Paul. A 14-year-old companion, believed to be Hmong, was arrested after the shooting. He was not identified by police last night. Yang and Lor were taken from a farm field where they were shot near East 110th Street and Akron Avenue to St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center, where they were pronounced dead. Lor, Basee Lor's sister, said her family moved to Minnesota about 10 years ago. Her brother was born in Thailand, where the family had fled from their native Laos, where the father had been a soldier. She said her brother had been a student at Washington Junior High School, but had been living at Totem Town, a juvenile corrections facility, since his arrest last month on charges of stealing cars. Since he went to Totem Town, we hadn't heard anything, she said, until the police came to the family's apartment about 9 p.m. Wednesday. They showed my parents a picture and asked if it was Basee. They said he was dead. At 12:20 p.m., South St. Paul put out a radio call reporting a stolen 1984 Mazda. At 12:31 p.m., a Rosemount police officer saw a car matching the description of the stolen car, and a few minutes later, he was given the license number that confirmed he was following the right car. He spotted the car on County Road 42 in Rosemount and followed it east to Akron Avenue, where the car turned north and where the Rosemount officer was joined by a Sheriff's Department squad car. They said the driver of the Mazda drove at high speeds on Akron for a little more than 3 miles and attempted to turn right onto 110th Street in Inver Grove Heights when he lost control and the car went into a ditch at the northeast corner of Akron and 110th. The boys ran from the car northeast through a field, through a woods, and into another field and were headed for a raspberry field. By the time the car went off the road, a number of squad cars were converging on the scene. Murphy drove past the car in the ditch on Akron to a farmyard, anticipating the route the boys would run. He went to a hay wagon parked in a field and watched as Yang and Lor emerged from the woods and headed for the berry field. The third boy apparently stayed in the wooded area. Murphy told them to stop and identified himself as a police officer. Yang turned to Murphy and Murphy saw something in his hand. Murphy ducked down behind the hay wagon. When he stood up again, Yang raised what Murphy thought was a weapon. Murphy thought his life was in danger, Shields said, and he fired. It was 12:42 p.m. Murphy had lost sight of Lor in the 5-foot-high berry bushes, Shields said. He said another officer approaching from the south found Lor about the time Murphy walked up to the hay. He said Murphy didn't know he had hit Yang until he attempted to handcuff him and saw the blood. Lor was found about 10 feet from Yang. Yang was hit with one pellet that entered the upper left shoulder of his back and severed part of his heart. Lor was hit by 2 pellets in the back, one of which passed to the left of his spinal column, and the other of which entered his lower back and lodged in his abdomen. His arm was grazed by a 3rd pellet, and 2 others passed through the sleeve of his jacket. Did they murder these 2 young Hmong boys who didn't even get to experience life yet?